How art thou? This presumably is going to be the second part of decoding the technomancy. So, in the first part, there was a ramble about how scientism has replaced real science in the field of physics and through the roboticists and the artificial intelligence agenda, and how that's insulting to nerdcore. So this is probably something that's going to get an hearing even if the audience is small, because there have been some people calling what the Musk Brigade's doing in the USA as the nerd Reich. Nerds find that insulting. Anyway, particularly nerds that know other nerds with Jewish ancestry. But anyway, or Polish ancestry. Just on a side note, if you watched a different video, there was commentary made about how a teeth loss coincided with deaths. One of the teeth loss coincided with the discovery that it's more than likely the case that the first ex-husband committed suicide about 7 years ago, or actually six and a bit years ago, 6.5 years ago, approximately. So his death hasn't been confirmed, but it's strongly suspected. Anyway, so we'll get past that. If that's not the case, apologies to the family in question. If it is the case, hello. If you see this video, you'll probably recognise this face, albeit the face is a bit older, and the voice is obviously different for reasons that have been articulated elsewhere. So, anyway, so just had a little bit of a break. Telling off the neighbour for bringing in the fleas with his cat. They're a real fucking issue. Cats do bring in fleas and bed bugs and mites, and that cat runs around the entire hostel, or the building that we're all in, and it's an infestation. And it's like, oh, he's the only one that doesn't get picked on. It's like, but what do you think's bringing in the fucking fleas? Every time the cat goes for a fucking wander, and goes, yeah, that tomcat fucking crap, knackered or fucking not, he's still fucking bringing in the fleas. Never mind. So, that's apparently gang stalking. No, obviously it's not. Actually, let's talk about gang stalking. There was a bit of a joke made in the description of the part one about how Sam Vakinen was involved in a demonic intrusion, along with Altona 777. And the truthful reference that Mr. Vakinen is not a professor. He, at most, according to his biographies elsewhere, has a Bachelor of Physics, yet he feels the need to comment on psychology for some reason. And that's really kind of annoying, considering this physical body does, in fact, have a psych major. And so let's refer to some of the things he's commented on. The video on gang stalking wasn't watched because it was realised after a couple of videos that the guy was doing technomancy. Okay, so let's look at how he is an example of how there's been different people in the with physics backgrounds or similar, overstepping their boundaries and pretending that they know things about subjects they simply do not know, and projecting expertise that they do not have, and acting like pulpit priests rather than scientists proper. Okay? If there's any value in going to an academy in the first place and getting an education, um, and you're not allowed to, for example, practice in a clinic or in a hospital setting, or perhaps in a research facility without the proper qualifications being institutionally recognised by both the state and, of course, the academy that granted the qualification, then there's no reason why that man would be classified as an adjunct professor or visiting professor anyway. When it comes to psychology or psychiatry, he simply does not have the qualifications. If he was, if he was, you can't jump from a bachelor of physics to a doctorate of psychology. Okay. In Australia, the proper qualification procedure, at least as it was 10 years ago, actually it's more than 10 years ago, 15 years ago, was you either did a 3-year bachelor degree with a psych major and then a 4th-year qualification, either as honours or a graduate diploma, followed by a 2-year internship or a master's degree or a PhD. You can't jump from diploma in panel beating to doctorate in psychology. So why would you be able to jump from Bachelor of Physics in one country to professor in another? So with someone like that, he's worn on his sleeve exactly what he is. He says he was diagnosed with psychopathy sometime in the past. Okay, when he was a young man, and he seems to be doing some kind of trial, because the moment someone gets diagnosed with a condition where they are classified as a chronic liar, which, by the way, chronic lying is actually a diagnostic criteria for psychopathy in the DSM and that, like you can actually look it up. Actually, to be more specific, narcissistic personality disorder. Psychopathy is slightly different from that, but it sort of spans out from there, okay? Usually, NPD is called psychopathy as an interchangeable term. There are slight differences. The chronic lying isn't one of them. They're both chronic liars. So the moment someone gets basically diagnosed with that, or perhaps antisocial personality disorder, which is also associated with chronic lying, you might be forgiven for not trusting a single word he fucking says. And unfortunately, he's got a fan base. And that's really concerning, because there's, like, Elon Musk had a fan base. That's like, fuck's sake. The guy's running a fascist coup now. Okay? These tech bros, okay? These tech bros, this is a power got to their heads thing, or fake power got to their heads thing. Like, it's gotta be. Okay? The physicists have been running around thinking they know fucking better than everyone else. What do you want? Fucking some goddamn fucking junkies to fucking goddamn fucking harass you into acting like a goddamn what's her name? Amy Farrah Fowler? Go on. Are you being harassed by junkies? And he said you should talk like Amy Farrah Fowler. Well, Canoe doesn't have a doctorate in neuroscience, so it doesn't count. Anyway, bachelor's degree in psychology does have a little bit of biology in it, so there is some knowledge there. Also, there's some experience with other things. Okay. Now, on the subject of Sam Vakinen, okay, we'll had a little who's more qualified than who pissing contest. Once he's completely ruled out anything he says to have any credibility whatsoever by diagnosing himself as a chronic fucking liar, then we can more or less see that also someone with that condition has a fucking agenda. That's the other thing that you'll probably notice with that particular personality sort of NPD. They're chronic fucking liars and they have fucking agendas. It's kind of their thing. Okay? It's even It's even part of the diagnostic criteria. It's also got this one called glib superficial charm. So he seems like an interesting character and even kind of friendly. He's fucking not. Anyway, sorry, it's not defamation of character when he defamed his own character. Okay. So, physics and psychopathy, or physics and psychoticism. Is there a relationship between mathematicians, physicists, psychoticism, and psychopathy? Yes. We'll call it the John Nash effect. Have you ever seen the movie Beautiful Mind with John Nash? Have you it's a sort of pseudo autobiography of a man from way back when, probably the 60s or 70s or something like that. Can't rightly recall. And his name was John Nash, and he was a mathematician, and he was a bit of an incel. What a surprise! Living the stereotype, was he? And he was sitting in a pub, and he was not hitting on the hot chicks there. He was watching the dude bros, frat boys doing it. In classic nerd style, he didn't go talk to her. He didn't ask them anything. He just mathematically documented their behavioural movements and called it game theory. And the amazing thing, it was actually useful. Anyway, so now game theory is taught in economics, and game theory is taught in mathematics, and game theory is probably taught in physics as well. Maybe not so much physics, but it is taught in a few degrees. That kind of maths heavy. It's not taught in psychology though. Anyway, the point is that the movie continues with John Nash accidentally discovering a mathematical equation of some kind or theory that was useful to bringing down cartels or something like that, Yeah, like what Elon Musk's doing at the moment. He's running a cartel with his tech bro billionaire friends, okay? You can apply a game theory to that if you want to. It'd probably be helpful. You can rest assured if Elon Musk does have a Bachelor of Economics, he's been using game theory for years. Anyway, come on, be serious, okay? Right, okay? So, with that sort of idea, okay, John Nash then continues to have, to do way too much calculations and see way too much code and become a fucking schizophrenic. And the story continues that for 20 years, he kept seeing this hallucination of an old man and a little girl and a guy that was middle-aged or something like that. And he was talking to them, like, all the fucking time. They were there all the fucking time. And 20 years passed. And by that point, he had, the stock standard fucking stereotype of fucking a room. His office was full of bits of paper with bits of string and, all these connections were being made between things. And someone walked in and goes, oh, fucking John, okay, you've gone too far. Like you're talking absolute dribble. We're not seeing the relationship between the things you're fucking talking about. Are you mentally ill? Do you need some help, bro? And he's gone, nah, fuck ya. And then he's tucked a tantrum and he's gone home, right? And then his missus has gone, yeah, you probably shouldn't talk to those people. We can't see them. And then, well, the logic goes in the story that after 20 years of talking to them, he's gone, hang on a second, how come you guys haven't aged? And then he turns to his wife and he goes, the hallucinations haven't aged. They should have aged by now. And she's going, yeah, well, that's because they're not real, John. And then he's gone and gotten help, and then he's become some sullen old man sitting on the porch, chock full of olanzapine. Anyway, and he's got a Nobel Prize on his fucking, on his mantelpiece, and olanzapine fucking injections in his arm every fucking week, right? Okay, yeah. That's where Elon Musk is headed. All those ketamines are going to get to him at some point. He won't, however, be getting a Nobel Prize. Although, they did give one to Stalin once. That's a bit concerning. Okay, now, history is chock full of examples of bad people being rewarded, and then later on everyone complains about them. So, let's keep going. Elon Musk, technomanic agenda. All the tech bro billionaires are sitting there fucking pushing some cranky fucking Korsakoff syndrome, narcissistic personality disordered old fucking fart, who's a convicted Ford 34 fucking times, to push through the executive orders for the Stargate AI, so once again, the tech bros can get several $1 billion to find out ways to fuck people over. True story. Meanwhile, you've got another pulpit fucking goddamn dickhead named Sam Beckman with a physics degree, who's claiming he's a professor in psychology. And you got fucking Roger Penrose and a bunch of dickheads going, quantum consciousness, that sounds like it might be a thing. That's not what they were fucking saying 40 years ago or 30 years ago, or whenever it fucking was, when the New Age movement heard the word quantum, and then they started complaining about the quantum woo fucking problem. Now, the reason why they're fucking saying that now is because they're doing what's called ideological encroachment. Okay, they're doing ideological encroachment. Their heads are fucking so fucking big, it's not even funny. They think they're the fucking goddamn fucking best because they were able to take a photo of a black fucking hole. Well, whoop-de fucking doodah, when a neighbour's cat walks down the fucking goddamn pathway, we can take a photo of their fucking brown dwarf anytime we fucking like, and it won't become qualify as a goddamn fucking achievement. And let's get to fucking why. We know the cat's fucking real, but we don't fucking know that their photos fucking are. They've got a bunch of grainy fucking images through fucking telescopes that are over fucking priced, that somehow take photos of stars, when if somebody fucking launches a fucking satellite and goes into geodesic orbit outside in the magnetosphere area or beyond on the fucking moon, the stars aren't visible, and the excuse is something about fucking refraction or something like that. Well, what a load of fucking gammon horseshit. How the fuck can that light travel fucking millions and billions of fucking kilometres away, somehow not be visible anywhere inside the solar system, but is only visible on the goddamn fucking magnetosphere? There's more fucking refraction on the magnetosphere than there is out there. I mean, they even say that the magnetosphere is the reason why you fucking see the sky is blue. Wait, because it's causing refraction of the other fucking light beams coming through from the fucking sun. So refraction works just well and fucking plenty to make the sky blue. But it doesn't somehow prevent stars appearing in one spot but not have any light beams coming through the other. Call fucking bullshit. There's something wrong there. There's something wrong. It's not adding up. And say, oh no, the sky is fake, we're going to go to the sky fakers territory. What if it's not? Let's go into the 30-year rule of the military again. They have 30 years in advance of plans or whatever else, so if they've just invented a spaceship to fucking go to fucking Mars, with one of those Musk SpaceX numbers, well, that's just saying they did. You can rest assured the military had one 30 years ago. They got to have the upper hand. You know how it is. They had the upper hand with the internet. They had it before everyone else had. They had mobile phones before everyone else had. They had stealth planes flying in the sky before people could figure out that it fucking happened. They had satellites in the sky for military communications before they had them for your TV. Don't go fucking thinking for a single fucking second that the corporate sector be allowed to fucking be building fucking spaceships that can take you to fucking Mars. If the military hadn't already fucking put a colony fucking there. There's absolutely no fucking way that they'd be fucking allowing civilians of any kind to go to fucking Mars if they didn't have their greasy paws in the place already. True fucking story. At the very least, to scout the place in case of some weird aliens or some crap. Or a competing country, maybe. There's a whole host of reasons why they would have done that. The point being that means that their spaceships are more advanced than they say they are. Makes you wonder, are the photos fake? No, they're not fake. Stars aren't fake either. What's really happening? I want you to think the stars are fake. The psyop is they want you to think the stars are fake, okay? They've got photos without stars in them because they want you to think the stars are fake, okay? They're showing you that they do colorization of grading images because they want you to see the stars as fake. They want you to think that because they want you to think that we live in a simulation, okay? Remember how Elon Musk and his friends were just from the right generation to be from the stoner rave culture when they studied computers or physics or whatever the fuck they were into? And they were sitting there in the late 1990s, as a lot of people were, watching a movie called The Matrix. So if you're from the over 40s crowd, you definitely know what that is. And sometimes the late 30s as well. And if you're from that generation, you know what The Matrix movie was, Keanu Reeves and all that. Okay? And to be fair, as far as movies go, maybe it wasn't that great a movie, except for one thing. It raised the question of, you don't actually know the answer to that. And that fucking what if shit is what gets people every fucking time. What if? Now, most people went and then left the cinema and went, well, where's the car? Let's go home, you know? But guys like that, chuff, fucking chuff, mate. The guy, Musk is on ketamines or some shit these days, I reckon. And he's been a stoner for a long time. Okay? What's the bet he was fucking going chuff? He's a frat boy going chuff. And a fucking Zuckerberg and that was doing the same fucking thing. I mean, Canute's the same age as Zucker. Actually, Canute's older, but not much. Anyway, so yeah, you know, a nickname, whatever. Okay? You know, you can do a public humiliation campaign. You might as well do it properly. Anyway, you know, fugly old mates and all that. The point is the stars are fake, are they? This is what the Americans are saying, according to David Pakman. David Pakman had some fake statistic he pulled out of his fucking arsehole, which was something like, 44% of Americans think the stars are fake. Well, really? Since when do 44% of people agree on anything? I mean, usually in the primaries, when the primary votes in an election, when, like, you know, you don't get fucking 44%, you don't get 42%, you never get whole numbers. It's usually like 42.1 or something like that. So it's obviously ridiculous. It's a bit too even. And on that note, you might want to check into the fucking Catholic Royal Commission ones. 4,444. That sounds like rounding. Anyway, so how does this relate to the technomancy? Well, the technomancy and the technomanic agenda is that they want you to think the world's already a fucking simulation. Just the same as the New Ages wanted you to think that the aliens, Anunnakis, had invaded 10,000 years ago and were posing as the kings of old. Wait, so they weren't just pretending to be god kings, they were god-like kings because they were fucking possessed by aliens. Like, fuck off. I mean, narcissistic personality disorders exist in the 21st century. Why didn't it exist back then? Hello? Anyway. Yeah. Right? Okay? Chain smoking. It's not healthy, but it's better than goddamn fucking meth. Hitler and fucking the US. Fuck Hitler. Oh, wait. Did it 5 times in the fucking astral. Not. Want to play the medium fucking go? Well, we'll save the layout of Elon Musk's house in Saratoga before he moved 3 or 4 months ago for the election. For later. And also what his office looked like about 4 years after March 1999. Anyway, it'd be fucking funny if it was true. You probably turn to laughter. She's fucking crazy. Good. Good. What if this one wants you to think they're crazy? After all, crazy is the new sane. If you're fucking beefed up on fucking drugs and you think the Matrix is fucking real, and then your mate Nick Bostrom makes a simulation argument and there's no hypothesis to test it, there's no testing fucking done, there's just a bunch of people talking fucking shit and peddling like fucking priests on a fucking pulpit, and a bunch of new agers are lapping it up like the fucking morons they fucking are. Sorry, they are morons. They're gullible. And why they're gullible? Because they're programmed to be gullible. They'll tell you straight fucking up about an AI transhuman agenda as well. Okay? But they don't seem to be peddling the idea that maybe that's influencing them and affecting their fucking prophecies or whatever. Not to say that the world actually is a simulation or whatever, which they seem to believe, even though it isn't substantiated by the facts. Even with the idea of the sky appearing as though it's not real. And so in the case of dumb people, they think it's simulated. So let's go to an alternate hypothesis. An alternate hypothesis would be something like, well, we know the military is more advanced than they say they are. So it stands to reason, if you've got a private company that's prepared to make spaceships, allegedly, to take people to Mars these days, well, then it stands to fucking reason that the military's already done it. Which means, of course, given that Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 have somehow fucking managed to leave the fucking solar system, and for some reason they decided to not take photos, like, seriously, if you're going to have a fucking... look, NASA, you're caught with your pants down, okay? Okay? You've literally described the situation as Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 will have reached what's called terminal fucking velocity, or whatever. Or, that might not be the correct jargon, but it's the one where there's nothing causing inertia, okay? Because the gravity of the sun is gone and they're in the interstellar medium, so they're between the gravity of different solar systems. Subsequently, the amount of fuel that those particular craft would have to use is absolutely minuscule. They'd only need just enough to send their radio telemetry back in a couple of pictures. But for some reason, they turn the cameras off at that point to save fuel. Okay? Sorry, but they needed more fuel to get out of the solar system than now that they're there. You know, we need it's the ultimate opportunity for a fucking photo op, but we're not getting one. Why? It's a fucking photo. Okay? A photo would take just about the same amount of energy to transmit through radio telemetry. You know, if they you know, so it's not like they're going to keep the photos stored on a fucking hard drive, are they? Like, what are they going to do? Fucking walk out there and collect them in case they drop their fucking phone in the middle of the Alpha or Beta Centauri systems? I mean, give us a fucking break. Why did they turn the cameras off? Come on. Get fucking real. Okay? So, on that note, they've already got craft outside the solar system. Best opportunity for photo ops ever. Not fucking taking it. Okay? They've got the corporate sector prepared, one company at that, prepared to fucking make spaceships to take you to fucking Mars. But, you know, obviously the military would have to have dominance, or any or all of the militaries have to have dominance on Mars already for them to even prepare to do that, to have any colonial fucking shit. Okay? So, maybe they're already there. Okay? Which means their spaceships are more advanced than they fucking say. Which means they've got more of them in the fucking solar system. Okay? Now, they're not necessarily galactic or intergalactic. We're not going to go that far, because it's probably not the case. But they're definitely going to be good enough to go around the solar system. So, chances are they've been editing the moon photos or whatever to take the stars out, or it's just an issue with the flash. And has nothing to do with fancy refraction or whatever fucking jargon shit they came up with in some articles. Just like, what a load of crap. Okay? And so if you go out there and stuff like this, just try to imagine a situation, okay? Imagine a situation where there are actually people on planet Earth who are noticing the constellations really are appearing in the wrong part of the sky. And notice, for example, that the articles might get updated on the internet to reflect that new pattern, even though everyone fucking knows and everyone can fucking see that they're in the wrong fucking spot. Such as Orion appearing in the west. Orion does not appear in the west. Now, they do say that the stars typically have a east-west motion, depending on which ones they are. Orion does as well. In the southern hemisphere, it's supposed to appear in the fucking north, but it's never supposed to appear in the due west. From the vantage point of Australia, and anyone has had a look at fucking Orion over like the entire history of fucking Australia, will tell you that it moves from a northeast to northwest direction. Okay, never appears in the due east, never appears in the due west. You'll never see it at any time of night or any time of year appearing in the glow of the sunset. Yet, more consistently than not, over the course of the last 2 years, Orion has been appearing almost exactly in the due west. The other thing you'll probably notice is the colour of the Pleiades have changed, and that the Southern Cross is not appearing in a south-southwest or south-southeast position, but appearing in a northeast, like further north than that, and not anywhere near the south. Okay, from the vantage point of the Southern Hemisphere. Now you say, oh, yeah, you're misperceiving things. That the stars are disappearing and reappearing and fucking whatever else. Like, oh, that's cloud cover, okay? But the place that it's being viewed from has no rainfall, or next to no rainfall, has fuck all light pollution, and almost zero smog. It is absolutely the best place to view stars, and even the galactic plane doesn't appear correctly. Okay, it's not on the correct angle. It's not the same angle it was several years ago. Okay, and so you guys say, oh, she's the one with the psych major or whatever. She's not the physicist or the astrophysicist. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's overstepping her intellectual boundaries, right? Well, then shut up about consciousness. You guys don't even know how to define the fucking term, you fuckwits. Okay, but you say, oh, there's some observations. You've made observations. Who made observations? Well, those were observations too. And independent observers have seen them. Okay? And with that, we need to raise a very strange possibility. UFO manipulation. Aliens are now manipulating the star patterns. Sometimes, assuming they're actually aliens at all, they might not be. You'll probably notice that they've got some drones that they've invented that can look like they're aliens from outer space, but probably aren't. So we'll call it NASA pranks or SpaceX pranks or something like that. And basically, what they'd be doing, you stars aren't real people in the USA or whatever else, is all they have to do is park the spaceship. At the point where the fucking goddamn light beam is coming through, and then have an array of fucking satellites with a mirror on it and just point it in a different direction, and so it appears in a different spot. Okay? And then you'd call that a psyop. Now, why would they go to the expense of doing that? Well, if they've already got the satellites out there, then they might just flip them a little bit to have a bit of fun with you. Okay? All right? But the reasoning for that fun is called the simulation agenda, because the reaction from the community has been what? There are glitches in the matrix, okay? They're Mandela effects. They're this and they're that and the other, right? They're proving that the world's a simulation or some crap. And let's go, well, it just didn't happen in the first place. But that's not a good enough argument. It did fucking happen. And so the question then becomes, why? And no, it's not because of a simulation, okay? So the idea of the simulation agenda is to teach you, is like with so many other ideas that have come before, is they're trying to enculturate people into believing that something has already been there for quite some time. So when they introduce it on people, if they haven't already, would suggest that, oh, well, just put up and shut up. That's just the way it fucking is. So, technomancy, okay? That's a simple trick that you can do. You can just do it with a fucking mirror, okay? You can point light in a different direction with a mirror. Have a satellite point light in a different direction with a mirror. A star will appear at a different spot in the magnetosphere. Technomancy. So back to the artificial radio waves. So the artificial radio waves are not magic. They're machines, and and it is possible to what's the word, program them, okay, and it is also possible to have the synesthetic experience of a TV show playing in your head that you're not watching, that was on the television fucking 2 kilometres away, that was transmitted to that television via the internet. So, you've got all these people walking around, right, saying things that sound like rather like movies, but they never watch the movie. Remember, your skull's thinner than the walls of your house. So that says something about consciousness, or not necessarily about consciousness, but about visual processing. That is a little bit unorthodox. And you can bet your ass, if they've got enough common sense to know that, well, if it can pass through your skin to get to a nerve receptor, then there's no reason why it can't get to your fucking head. Then they might have already figured that out some time ago and decided to put some shit on it. And some people call them the projected AI images. So it's a lovely little game they like to play. When the seventh seal bust, they call it the harvest. So you have the experience of not being in your head and being in someone else's, and someone else being in your head, plus whatever else they chuck there. Charming, isn't it? And while you're there, you might have the experience called the Carmel. Okay? Right? Which is some crap involving devil horns and a star chakra wheel or something like that. Allegedly, the star chakra wheel is above an altar on the Moon Titan, or more specifically on a spaceship associated with the Orion star belt. And the first star of Orion is about putting entities fucking on you and punishing you for not believing that the aliens are gods or some crap. And the second one's the one where you deal with the fucking Tesseract, which they call the fourth dimension, but it's not, because it's actually a 48-dimensional hypercube. Anyway, that's how they're controlling fucking reality. They're sticking things in and out of the fucking hypercubes and the sub-boxes within it. How fucking charming. When you get to that fucking level, you have the great fucking hypercube. And, a bunch of idiots fucking putting fucking shit in and out of it, giving you fucking crap. Right? But that's all okay, because the tall grey aliens are really behind it all with a fucking star chakra wheel. Fucking goddamn putting shit in and out of your head too. And if you just accept their fucking New Age fucking cult, or Christianity, perhaps things will be okay. And remember, the Cabal has global jurisdiction. You fucking kidding? Are you fucking kidding? Global jurisdiction? So you mean to say a class of aliens that got invented through storytelling in about the 1970s has had global jurisdiction since 6000 BC? Are you fucking kidding? Are you fucking kidding? Or Christianity is your only other option? Okay, what about every other culture in the world? Well, we're sorry, Europeans and Americans, but you are in fact the minority. Okay? Look, there's 400 million Americans and there's 400 million Europeans. Okay? That is less than 1 billion people out of approximately 8 to 10 billion people. Okay? They represent less than 10% of the global population, or about 10% of the global population. They don't make any sense at all. It's commandeering of fucking Hinduism and Buddhism, where they walk around and they fucking say I mean, how the fuck would a star chakra wheel be the same as a Dhamma wheel? It's fucking not. Okay, it's a complete misinterpretation. You know, a chakra is a wheel vortex, okay, right? It's not an actual mechanical device. Okay? There is a difference between a vortices, a spiritual vortice, and a goddamn fucking mechanical device. So part of that New Age cult is connected to the AI transhuman agenda, because they've mechanicized something completely different. Okay, something that was not mechanical. They've decided is mechanical, because maybe Crowley said so while he was high. Okay, so basically they've done is a lot of fucking horseshit. Okay, and they go there and stuff like that. Here's some visions you might have when you're devil horned. Okay, because you know that you're the god of the world, therefore you're the fucking devil. Oh, whatever. So it doesn't matter what you fucking believe. I mean, you're caught up in someone else's fucking stupid egregore. Like, fuck you. Like, whatever happened to fucking people's fucking basic rights? Oh, wait, you're punished because you fucking didn't believe in God, did ya? Well, you're only supposed to be punished for that after you're fucking dead, according to that religion anyway. And why would you fucking worship that for? That's fucking cruel. So, obviously there's something wrong here with those ideas, right? And they've got a laundry list of fucking excuses, and it's fucking crap, right? One of the visions you might have is seeing other people in a different reality, right? Each with devil horns around their heads, which are actually not actually devil horns at all. They're supposedly astral tech to interfere with your temporal lobes, right? And so in this other reality, there's all the people that wind up in your head, who incidentally, in many cases, are walking around you, having those things twisting around them, and some people fucking, manipulating it. And you know what's really fucking strange? Really unexpected? When they show people who have YouTube channels doing the manipulating, like Sam Bakinen. At that point, you go, you fucking lost your fucking you lost your fucking goddamn marbles. Like, wait, because he was in the Israeli military. Okay, got it. So it's a MyLabs thing. Oh, okay, you're in the MyLabs, are you? So the tall grey aliens aren't fucking real. The US military has abducted you because you fucking smashed fucking implant that was in an ADF personnel's head once. You found his fucking implant, you smashed it. That part's true, unfortunately. The part about the smashing an implant's true. It was about this fucking big, okay? It was about this big, and it was nanotech that had been assembled in his fucking head. Okay, that part was true. This other stuff reeks a little bit of like anti-Buddhism, because it's so trying to program people to believe in like specific agendas, like MyLabs or the New Age movement or Christianity or something like that, or worse still, like that all the world's religions like have a common core, which is something other than people living in their respective environments and just making up shit to explain what they were going through at the time, and it's sticking for a while. So it's this sort of illusory correlations. Like, these cults come through, and with the blue grid stuff. So there is an artificial blue light. Okay, they call it Project Bluebeam, right? Now, Project Bluebeam, as it's described in the conspiracy theory, isn't accurate, except for one part. They do have programs on it. Outside of that, it's crap. Now, do you see a blue beam going through this head? No, you do not. But there's no blue being experienced at the mental planes level, or whatever fucking crap language they've got for that these days. So, whatever. It's this cult conditioning, it's cult indoctrination, it's fucking crap. It's like, we're trying to ascend you properly. But you didn't follow the proper cult protocols. Well, then why the fuck did you fucking have a situation where there was a vision of a Kanuba snake coming out and a fucking Asuku will show up then? Also, why does that happen to atheists? This kind of stuff doesn't make any fucking sense until you get to the idea of where I'll call it the collective consciousness. Okay, which is now we're getting into Jungian territory because he did argue that. The thing is, though, he was on fucking goddamn drugs at the time, and it sort of seems a bit fruity, unless you go through it, right? And of course, because that's anecdotal, it can't be true. And they're relying on that as they laugh in your face. So on the subject of Sam Vakinen, he did a whole bunch of, let's be honest, spell casting because he's a psychopath, which means he likes to manipulate in his videos, and then he followed it up with, oh, well, the self doesn't exist anyway, and then a video about fucking doing spiritual warding. Well, sorry, last we fucking checked, that doesn't qualify as legit science because it's not empirically proven. So he might want to answer some fucking questions about that one. So it's more about the physics and the psychology with Sam Vakinen and less about the Israel, by the way. He lives in Macedonia, or so he says. And there's a bunch of people who, believe his shit and some who don't. Oh, they find him helpful, do they? Because he puts the charm on them, uses big words they don't understand properly. He's using weasel words, okay? They're weasel words. It's word salad. It's NPD. He's an expert at it, okay? Rambling, carrying on, saying weird shit. That's not NPD, okay? Fucking using and misusing jargon to sound like you're fucking important and know what you're talking about when you're not even doing it properly, okay? To sell fucking stuff, okay? And put shit on people potentially. That's NPD, okay? That's Machiavellian behaviour, okay? Okay? Because NPD plus dark triad equals psychopath. But anyway, so is that about right, is it? The world's a simulation because Elon Musk said so on Joe Rogan's show? Or because the New Age movement said so? Or because you experience here maybe which says so? Well, how about it's fucking not? How about if you're going to be a proper scientist, you have alternate hypotheses? Such as what? The world's not a simulation, but they're trying to create one. Okay? They figured out at some point that they can actually interfere with people's consciousness, or minds, or whatever you want to call it. And so they started to do it. You know when they figured that out? 1948 with the microwave auditory effect. They literally had a walkie-talkie signal going through a concrete wall that was about 2 meters thick with no words on it or anything like that, or music playing, just static, the static thing that walkie-talkies used to make. And a soldier on the other fucking side, and they noticed that the soldiers were having a little bit of a Michael Persinger's God help it moment where they started seeing, dead relatives and fairies and things like that, or auditorily hallucinate that they were being talked to from a fucking walkie-talkie going through a fucking wall. Imagine what people can go through here. They're literally saturated in satellite dishes, Wi-Fi signals, you fucking name it, coming from outer space, their own fucking pocket, fucking neighbours. It just goes on and on and on. Yes, you're going to believe it's a simulation if you're literally fucking walking around in artificial fucking radio waves or microwaves or both. You might even experience the microwave auditory effect. On that subject, it's not auditory, whatever's going on. But The photovoltaic effect would say something along the lines of radio waves, artificial or not, are a type of light, right? But that's not the photovoltaic effect. The photovoltaic effect is when an electron jumps orbit, light pops out at 45-degree angles. Okay, got it. Okay, what happens then? How does the photovoltaic effect relate to the light sound phenomena? Okay, not sound, thought. Wait for it. What's the hertz of cognition? Is the hertz of cognition translatable from the hertz of light? Well, actually, they're two different phenomena. One's the movement of air particles, and the other's, light particles, right? Explain this then. No color shift this time? Let's try again. Now, what was really interesting is that was tried on a different recording a few months ago and had a noticeable impact on the imagery on the screen. But this time, it had an impact on some kind of entity fucking perception associated at alleged mind level. Okay? And that's very interesting. Why did that happen? Let's try again. The photovoltaic effect is what they're referring to when they're doing glossolalia called light language. Any visual alterations? Did the audience witness any visual alterations that time? What is this? Light language is not just glossolalia, it's the photovoltaic effect in action, because when you do it, when you talk, okay, air particles are moving off your tongue, okay, which means electrons are jumping orbit, which produces a light beam. Interesting. Fascinating. You're going to have to find that video. It's around somewhere. Okay, so when it's found, you'll see the effect in question, because it actually fucking happened. In a different recording. And also look at another recording that's already on channel, where there's a completely impromptu apparition. Okay, and you can see that the hands are up here and the phone is basically on the lap and nothing's happening. There's no objects going around over the phone at the time, and the hands aren't doing anything. There's also, no one around. Okay, you can tell just by looking at this type of scenery around here that this is an isolated setting. So there's no Confederates to fucking do stuff. Okay, so stark raving mad or not, is it not the case that the photovoltaic effect is possible in the glossolalia experience called light language? Yes, of course it is. Of course it is, dear. It definitely is. Okay. Pebble! Not this time. Okay, was it a fluke? We'll fall in doubt because we'll find the recording later. Okay, but in principle, that should work. Okay. Technically, it is a different recording device this time, so maybe there's a different setting on it or something. But the point is that there are means by which that can be done that are, not crazy because it's got science behind it, right? But when you take into consideration something very basic here, okay? So the principle here that we established as a technomantic agenda, they already did it for you. Okay, just look at the USA at the moment. Sorry. Anyway, think for yourself. Anyway, back to the dimensions thing. You know how that's not really a dimension? It's just a hand moving, representational, not real. Okay. Oh, the four-dimensional hypercube is 48 dimensional. Okay. You're in the 4D because you're experiencing a 48 dimensional hypercube. See, it's not adding up. Okay. Oh, you go from the 1D to 2D to 3D to 4D. And that's not adding up. Technically, you have to go well beyond the 48th dimension to even be brought down to have the 48th dimension. But anyway, okay, because the places of technology or whatever are actually technically lower realms. But with that, you can't say radio waves are lower than the ultraviolet when light actually goes at the same speed. It just has different gaps between the peaks and troughs called bandwidths. So, and just because something's called to move faster, it doesn't mean it does move fast, and it doesn't mean fast is better. So, perceptible versus imperceptible is possibly more accurate. And their particular logic about that stuff is erroneous, even in science, in the sense that how many dimensions something has is determined by the scale of your observation. So, for some reason, the further down they zoom, the more dimensions they find. And the further out they zoom, the more dimensions they find. When the mathematics of the physicist became more commonplace than the material observations, because physics is supposed to be material stuff, and they started to believe their projections, you start to realize that they're all a bunch of John Nashes. But they want to say they know what minds are. I was hoping for a cool trick at the end, but it didn't happen. Have a nice one.